So this evening, I guess the single biggest piece of news, the most breaking piece of news to have come out, like I think it was earlier this afternoon, right, is the somewhat groundbreaking change in HDB regulations with the announcement of the prime location housing schemes. Yeah? So let's jump into that, right? Being the news segment for our usual Facebook Live. Let's go into that. And jump into... Okay. So, the Minister of National Development, Desmond Lee, announced the new rulings with regards to prime location HDBs. After going through about a year of consultation, they were trying to reduce the lottery effect of prime location HDBs, which is why they have came up with several rule changes to control that lottery effect. So to be very honest, while I was expecting this, I didn't expect them to really come down that hard on with that many rules to limit this lottery effect in prime location HDBs. My personal guess was perhaps they would have extended the MOP period, which they did. Right, later on we are. Maybe let's just jump into it. Like, what are some of the rule changes, right? I expected them to extend the MOP to make it a 10-year MOP. But what I didn't expect was for them to rule out renting of the HDB altogether. Meaning, you are, so based on the current rule changes, once your property reaches MOP, you cannot even rent it out. If your particular property is under the PLH within this prime location housing zone. So that is quite a big rule change as compared to the other rules. So this is the only type of properties in HDBs in Singapore that will be limited to this kind of rules. Another big thing that I didn't expect them to do was to limit the eligibility profiles of the people that these first owners can sell to. So it's really big in terms of how it will potentially affect the demand for not just the BTOs when they were launched, but also the units when they're out in the resale market. All in all, really driving in and really making their point made, right, that they don't want this sort of HDBs to have basically any capital appreciation potential at all. And it's going to be tough for the owners to really charge a big premium, considering the people that you have to sell these properties to will have to abide by those eligibility criteria, because those guys will... Why would they want to choose your particular unit? Because all these rules will encumber and will stay within that particular house up to halfway through their lease, for those of you who have read the articles. For those of you who haven't, what the minister is saying, that all these rules will stick with the house for half of its entire 99-year lease before they reconsider. So that is quite a big thing for these particular HDBs. So, I mean, I've received quite a fair bit of messages asking me how this really affect the market. So while it is quite shocking, and it's a really big thing, and it's the first time we are seeing something like that happen in the market, right? To be very, very honest, I don't see it causing a huge knock-on effect to the rest of the market, to be very honest. Some of the reasons why I think so, right? So of course, if you ask me to rank what is the biggest impact, I would say number one would be the 10-year MOP, because it totally kills the demand side of things when people are looking to buy, and you factor in the long waiting time you have to wait for the HDB, you add on the 10 years to that easily. By the time the guy can sell the property already, maybe the guy is easily 40 years old, close to 40 years old already, and he probably won't even be able to make a profit. So HDB has basically made the demand pool very, very niche. People that really wants to stay in those locations and have no intention to upgrade in the future and happy to wait for it, just want to secure the house at a fair price. The second one that I feel is the killer is the eligibility criteria, because it kills the demand in the resale side of things, because all the buyers that can meet this eligibility criteria will rather, they have so many other choices to pick from, right? And then of course the rule on not being able to rent out, I feel that would be very marginal in terms of its impact, because we all know how people have been working their way around this particular rule for a long time. But interestingly, what has not been announced is a specific area with which the government will be controlling the HDBs that were launched. Yes, they said GSW, but other than that, in terms of where exactly are these prime location HDBs at, they have not actually came out to say yet, right? I guess they intend to do it on a launch by launch basis. So I think those areas that may come into play, maybe the new HDBs coming up in the Dover Forest area. Yeah. Hello, sorry to interrupt. We'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for watching the video, and also to share why we do what we do. Is to empower consumers with hard facts and figures, quality research, and real-life examples to allow them to make the most informed property decisions. So if you found our videos useful, the only thing we ask for is for you to smash that like and subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm can push out our videos to more consumers. Thank you, and back to the video. So next, the question everybody wants to know is, who will benefit from this and who will be affected by this? So of course, the first-time buyers of the prime location HDBs, they will think very carefully moving forward whether or not they want to buy these HDBs with all the encumbrances involved in that particular unit. Of course, singles will also be affected. They're basically telling you if you're single, you don't need to buy, because the eligibility schemes, which are the eligibility schemes for BTOs, there's no single schemes for that, so singles won't be able to purchase these properties. And then again, because singles do make up quite a fair bit of the buyer pool in the resale market for these prime location HDBs today, especially if they are 3-room HDBs. So removing the whole pool of single buyers from the equation would really affect the resale prices for these HDBs. Then the more interesting part is who stands to benefit, because like I said, the effect on the market prices, on the market as a whole per se, is not that big. But what really would change, right, is the mindset of the people. Because a lot of the first-timers today, most of the time, they will at least give 2 tries to try and get this prime location HDBs, right? So maybe they come out to work 1 or 2 years, they'll say, hey, knowing that lottery effect is involved, they are willing to exchange 1 or 2 years of their time to try and ballot for those particular units. And that then allows them to, if they don't get it, they in that 1 or 2 years, they also have saved enough money to then just go, okay, forget it, maybe I go for private properties, right? But so today, if that option is removed for these first-timers, or if the first-timers decide that that is just too many restrictions for these HDBs, they may just go like, forget it, let's go for private immediately. Or, like I highlighted over here, the people that will benefit are the owners of the the existing HDBs in these locations, those that are not affected by the PLH rules. Yeah. Another group that I feel will benefit, firstly, is the well-priced private properties near the GSW or central locations. What I mean by well-priced, they are priced affordably. I'm putting a number in at perhaps the 1.2, maybe to the $1.5 million mark, because they are suddenly going to be entertaining a wider group of demand, a wider group of buyers that remove the whole idea of them wanting to try out for this prime location HDBs. And I honestly don't think that group is small. I feel that group is really, really quite big. And thirdly, the last one is the landlords of the areas affected by these rules, right? Because the units by right now, so the future supply of HDBs into these areas will not contribute to rental inventory. So meaning the existing units in those areas will stand to benefit, because the location will continue to be good, and as more properties come up, they don't really take away your competitiveness in the rental market. So I think the landlords in these areas will stand to benefit from the lack of competition moving forward. Okay, but in general, I see this being a big plus to private properties in general, especially the affordable quantum ones, like I mentioned, or even if properties under the $1.2 million mark, if they have the two-bedders, because that would be the next most viable alternative for first-time buyers. Okay.